Okay, I was up all last night, and I think I've come up with a great name for the group. Since we all have such fantastic powers, I think we should be called the Fantastic Four.
Ooh, fantastic.
All right.
That
I
sounds
like
good.
it.
I like that.
Yeah, and I have come up with individual names as well, if I may. Ben Grimm, you are a rock-like thing of a man. You will be called the Thing.
Great.
Sue Storm, you're a woman who has the power to make herself invisible. The Invisible Woman is your name from now on.
Good.
Johnny Storm, you are human, and yet you are a torch.
Yeah.
The Human Torch.
The Human Torch. Okay.
And I, Reed Richards, can stretch my body like a rubber band. I will be Mr. Fantastic. Okay, let's get on to business. First order of business for the Fantastic Four. Dr.
Reed?
Doom has the entire world's plutonium
Reed.
supply. And,
Excuse me for a second.
Yes, Ben.
Your power is to stretch like a rubber band.
Right, that's why I come up with the idea, Mr. Fantastic. It's a fantastic ability I have.
Right. No one's saying it's not fantastic.
I mean, many people, when they see me stretch, they often use that word, fantastic.
I think what Ben's trying to say, Ben, right, is that we all have fantastic powers, but we're called what we do.
Right.
Yours is stretching.
Maybe Mr.
Stretch guy.
I was thinking
Well-
Stretch.
But that's my name.
Right. El Stretcho.
Oh, Stretcho.
No, not El Stretcho. No, it's Mr. Fantastic is my name, okay? Now, if you guys have problems with your names, we can talk about it. My name is Mr. Fantastic. Let's talk about Dr. Doom.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerds New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka Buford, with my co-host.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Elove or Luscious Jackson. I don't know.
Should we do a do-over? Nah, we're just gonna let this shit roll. Fuck it.
And we're back. Don't call it a comeback.
We've been here for years. See, only us know that, Eli. Everybody else don't know that shit, you know. But yeah, we are finally back. But people that didn't know what happened last week, I'll tell you what happened last week. My car broke down in another city, and I couldn't get back up here, so I just stayed there. So that's why we didn't do it. Now, however, we may run into issues later on in this month or next month, and I'll give you a little bit of tea on why that may or may not happen. So listen to the show and you find out what's going to happen there. A lot of you just going to just fast forward to the end and just say, fuck this comic book shit. I just want to know what the hell's going on with Leroy. But I think I will tell you this. It's not health related, not COVID or whatever. I'm healthy-ish. What do we got here? Want to be famous by followers, Prime View. Oh, yeah, that guy again. Oh, bots.
We want to be famous,
welcome back
so
to the
yeah.
bots. Yeah, welcome back to the bots. So, so that's why we didn't record last week. So people did check up on us, and I appreciate it. We don't have the biggest, internet footprint out there, but when we are missing, people do check up on us. Are y'all beefing? Have y'all finally fell out? Did y'all fall out over Will Smith? No, none of that. We're still good. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the show. So, for people that are on right now, check it out. Facebook, check out YouTube, check out Twitter. We're on there. Facebook, we should be fine tomorrow, but we're gonna go from there. So let's start off with the show. First thing we want to do is rest in peace to Norm Macdonald. Yes, Norm Macdonald was a long time host of Saturday Night Live. He was also host of now he was basically like a famous comedian that was pretty much just popped up everywhere. What was the last thing he was on? Was he on Orville, I think? Or
He did a lot of voice acting, I know.
yeah.
But he wasn't like a big, huge movie star. He basically,
He did pop up in movies every now and then, but yeah.
Yeah, he did like cameos in a bunch of comedy movies. Dirty Work, which of course was his one huge movie star deal that he did.
I never saw it, but I keep hearing people talk about it. Look, there you go, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, then of course he was on Saturday Night Live for many years. I used to watch a lot of Conan O'Brien, and whenever he was on, Conan, it was fucking hilarious. Like he was like, yeah, he could riff.
Was you
and-
like a guest or?
Yeah, and whenever he was just on there doing a stand up
Okay.
or just being a guest on the show, he'd sit through the whole show and like other guests would come on and he'd talk shit through the whole thing, and he was funny as hell. So that's my main thing was seeing him on as a talk show guest, basically on Conan.
Cool.
But yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I don't really know much about Norm Macdonald. I guess his sense of humor wasn't really my taste. However, there was one thing he did that I did find funny as hell. And since it's a comic book podcast, I figured this is the best point to talk about. I've always wanted to talk about this on the show, but I never had an opportunity to talk about it. It was from his comedy album, Ridiculous, like back in 2005. And it starts off with a Fantastic Four skit. So I'm going to just fast forward and just tell you how the Fantastic Four skit is. Basically, get their powers, and all the Fantastic Four finally become a team, and they start naming each other. Like, we're the Fantastic Four. You're a big rock thing, so we call you the Thing. You're invisible, we're going to call you the Invisible Girl. You're a human that can light up like a torch, we call you the Human Torch. And I will call myself Mr. Fantastic. You're like, whoa, wait. That don't make any damn sense. Why are we got these weird-ass names and you're fantastic? Shouldn't you be like, Rubber Band Man? Could you stretch like a rubber band? Like, no. I'm fantastic. I named the team. My fucking name. The team is named Mr. Fantastic. Let's go fight Dr. Doom. And then the whole thing is just them arguing the whole time. I thought it was funny as hell. Go listen to it. Ridiculous. Very first skit. Norm Macdonald. Like I said, rest in peace to him. Now, like I said, Eli, we've been trying to dibble and dabble a little bit in the music reviews. Not too much, but just a little bit. If anything's like really, really popular. And I feel like it'd be remiss for us to not talk about this because this week Lil Nas X did drop his album. Regardless of what you think about Lil Nas X, you have to miss one thing. He had the biggest and probably the best album promotion of any artist this year. I mean, everywhere you turn around, the guy was everywhere. You can't say that you don't know who he is or what his album was. I mean, he dressed up like fucking Iron Man or C-3PO at the BET Awards or VMA or whatever the hell it was. I don't know. So he came out with his album, Eli, and I decided to go ahead and review it. Like we said, we're reviewing everybody else's biggest album, might as well. And the very first song, I'll let you go.
Okay, I was gonna say you reviewed it.
I reviewed it. Okay, but here's the thing: I started listening to it, and the very first song when he said "shoot in your face while I'm riding," I was like, "What the fuck am I listening to?" I was like, I can't do that. So after that line, I was like, I can't do this anymore, man. I gotta listen to something else. Where's Griselda? Where's the plugs I meant to? Well, listen, this is more my groove right here. This is my speed right here. So that's my thing. But here's the thing I want to say. It's okay not to like something. Like everybody's getting all up and roar about this and what about the children, stuff like that. It's okay to just listen to something and be like, you know what? Not my thing. And just move the fuck on. Listen to something else. Let everybody have their fun over here. You have your fun over there. It's okay. You're not going to get canceled if you disagree. That's all I want to say about that. So I didn't listen to the album. I listened to that one song after the one line. That was it.
Now I want to listen to it.
Why? Because you can hear the line shoot. I want to shoot in your face while I'm riding.
That
I
sounds
didn't know that was
hilarious.
a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, is that a thing? So
That sounds hilarious. But no, what I've heard of Lil Nas X, I'm not a fan of. I hated that Country Road song or whatever the fuck. It's just not my thing. And and I do like some hip hop. I just didn't like his shit. And it doesn't mean that I'm homophobic or anything, or I'm against gay folks. I got a gay son. So I just it ain't my shit. It's something can be. You cannot like something and not be like crucified for it. So I get what you're saying, but yeah.
So yeah, that's my whole thing there. So I'm like, anyway, that's my review of the album. Eli, did you get a chance to share it out?
As far as I don't do your job, so I'm not. I think I did it right. I think I did it. I did copy and paste and shared it everywhere.
I'll take a look
few
and
places.
see. Like I said,
I
I'm still
don't know
banned.
if I did it like you do it and stuff, but
that's okay. But now I'm gonna double check to see if you did it or not. But now, Eli, it's pretty much gonna be your show for the rest of the show. So I'm gonna just go in the back, smoke a cigarette. Yeah, listen to some more Lil Nas X. See who else. See what other sexual terms I can learn besides shooting your face while riding. While you take over the show. Because the first thing we're gonna do is talk about Malignant.
Oh,
because you watched the
okay.
movie.
I
Yeah.
did watch a movie. Yes, I watched a movie. Yeah. Malignant, the new James Wan horror flick. James Wan returns to horror.
I noticed the post. I didn't watch this movie, but I do notice that the poster said only in theaters. But I'm pretty sure this was on HBO Max.
I watched it on HBO. Yeah.
That's what I figured. So I'm like, I'm confused as hell. What the hell is going on? But okay, let's go from there.
Yeah. So it's, James Wan returning to his roots, so to speak. Creator of Saw, the Conjuring movies, Insidious. Last few years, he's been dabbling in other genres.
Fast and Furious 7. No,
Fast
or
and
6.
Furious. Fast and,
7.
yeah, he made one of them. He made comic Aquaman, made $1 billion for Warner Brothers. So I bet Warner Brothers said, you know what, do what the fuck you want, do whatever you want, and it looks like he did. He did whatever the fuck he wanted with this movie. And I'm not a fan of I'm not really into the Conjuring movies. I'm just not a fan of supernatural haunted house ghost story horror. That I find those movies boring. I have seen I've seen Conjuring, I've seen Insidious. It's not my thing. I'm just not. I'm more of a creature feature slasher movie kind of guy. So I kind of just watched this because I was bored, and it started out just as I thought. The weird supernatural shit going on. Is it a ghost? Is it a demon? This chick is having visions of this killer, some mystery killer. She's got some psychic link to him. She sees all these dream about all these murders and shit, and you don't quite know what's going on. Is this really happening? Is it a dream? A loud noise, and then she turns around and nothing's there. All that, those haunted house ghost story, tropes that I just find boring. So I was bored as hell for the first half of this movie, and but then a twist happened, and the movie went fucking bonkers. I was just like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
They reeled you in.
I was like, did I get up and somebody turn on the Matrix or something? What the fuck is this now? It was like this big holy shit moment, and then the rest of the movie just is total fucking bananas after that. And then I was like laughing my fucking ass off. So I don't know if the movie's any good, but I was damn sure entertained.
Okay.
Because it started out here and then it ended up way. I was like, what the fuck am I watching now?
Now let me ask you: is it tied into the Insidious franchise? And
no, as far as I know, this is its own thing. I do know
star references, things like that. Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know the Conjuring. There's a extended Conjuring cinematic universe with those movies and the Annabelle movies and the Nun. My kid loves all that shit. So I'm not deep into that lore, so I wouldn't even know if there was. But as far as I know, this is its own thing. So it's basically about this woman who's having these psychic dreams about some mystery killer that's going around killing folks in very gruesome ways. And it has that. It's James Wan. You can totally tell it has his signature style, those signature, creepy house, darkly lit scenes and all that. And you're kind of wondering, the first half of the movie, you're kind of wondering what's happening. Is this a ghost? Is it a demon? What the hell? And then, halfway, then there's this big twist. And then it's just like, what the hell's happening? And then it's just, I don't know. Did I like this movie? I might. You know what? I think I like this movie.
Okay. Because you sound conflicted.
Yeah, because the first half, I was bored as shit. I was trying to not doze off during it because it, like I said, the haunted house tropes. It's all spooky. What's real? What's not? Is this a dream? Is she having a nightmare? Blah, blah, blah. Cheap scares, loud noises, cheap gimmicky scares and all that shit, and what's happening and kind of wondering what the fuck is going on. And then they finally tell you what's going on. And you're like, what the fuck? Is that stupid or is it cool? I don't know. And then it just takes off from there, and the movie turns into something else. Like it turns into like a fucking whole wild ass, gory, fucking over the top comic book violence and just bananas.
But you're saying it had your attention the whole time.
Yeah,
At least towards the end. Okay.
Yeah, once I think it did go on. I think it's probably about 20 minutes too long. They could have got to that reveal, I think, sooner. But once it got going, I was like laughing my ass off towards the end, and then I was like, "Holy shit, that was an experience."
Now, were you laughing with the movie, or do you think you were laughing at the movie? Like, do you think they were in on the joke?
Both, maybe. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, did he intend this to be a comedy? You know, because if he did, this is great. You know, but it just had this really over the top action scenes, over the top gore, and it was just hilarious. I was just totally laughing my ass off towards the end, and yeah, I was like, damn, I should watch that again, because I you know, just to put it all back together, you know. And you can totally tell he was inspired by the Italian horror, those giallo movies with the, you know, Mario Bava and Fulci and, you know, Dario Gento, you know, the House by the Cemetery, Suspiria, all those old Italian horror. You know, the way he lit some of the scenes, you know, the mystery killer that you can't see, a weird weapon is being used that you see in all these, you know, Italian horror flicks. Was at the Tourist Trap. There was one scene where the killer looked like the killer in the Tourist Trap, which is another Italian horror movie. So you can totally tell he was like paying homage to that Italian horror genre. But it was like I said, the reveal, the twist that I didn't see coming, that in itself was just like, okay, it's nothing new that I haven't seen before, but what he did with it, he just elevated it. This is like big budget horror. Yeah, Warner Brothers, put out by Warner Brothers. So if Warner Brothers, you know, they did it, if you're going to do something cool, like pump tens of millions of dollars into a horror flick, this is how you do it. Yeah, give James Wan all the money to do what he wants, and you get whacked out shit like this.
I mean, if you want to get people to pay attention to HBO Max, why not? You know, get them talking.
Yeah, because I did not see that coming. The twist is what made up for this movie. The twist, and then after once they tell you what's happening, what it is, and then what comes after, the movie just flips. It does a total about face. Okay, this is no longer a haunted house, spooky, you know, supernatural flick. This is John Wick. Basically.
Oh wow, it goes that wild. Okay.
It went just bonkers. Like I said, I was like, what the fuck am I watching now? You know. So yeah, 4 out of 5. I think I might have liked this movie, even though it started out slow, and that's just me taste wise. I'm just not into that supernatural horror. I just find that shit boring, and it was boring the shit out of me. You know, I watched this shit out of boredom. Oh, new James Wan flick on HBO. Sure, why not? You know, threw it on, bored as shit for about an hour, and then all of a sudden, what the fuck? Then I'm like laughing my ass off for the rest of the movie. So yeah, I recommend it.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get this shit out the way. Let's talk about Why the Last Man. The reason we're talking about Why the Last Man, because for those who don't know, Why the Last Man is
why.
Well, yes. Why? We're talking about why. Like, why? What the fuck? Because Why the Last Man, for those who don't know, is based off a Vertigo comic from the early 2000s. Vertigo was a subsidiary of DC. So, yes, this is a DC TV show. Just another one, just like Doom Patrol and Titans and Watchmen and all other stuff like that. Here's the thing, Eli. Like I said, I'm not familiar with Why the Last Man. I always thought it was supposed to be like an adult version of Commandy the Last Boy. But in that one, it was some Jack Kirby shit, you know, where he's the last boy and it's like dogs.
Yes.
I always thought they were like connected. I thought like it might have been him, you know, when he just grew up, because I didn't know what it was about. I'm just like, fuck it, you know. So, but yeah, it turns out it's not that. I had no idea what the
No.
premise is, and then when somebody finally told me what the premise was, I like, oh, well, that makes sense. Okay, so it's not he's not best friends with a dog boy or whatever. So yeah, so but Eli, I'm gonna let you take it out because you're
He's
more
best friend with a
familiar
monkey. He's got a
with-
monkey though.
That's another thing that messed me up because like Commandy was friends with a dog, he's friends with a monkey. Is it the same thing? But it's not the same thing. So like, why would DC make something that's got nothing to do with the lost boy or the last boy or whatever? But anyway, I'll let you take over, Eli, because you're more familiar with this than I am. I will say this: Brian K. Vaughan did write this, and he did write also the Runaways. He created that, and Runaways was awesome. So yeah, so I give him credit on that. Comic TV
yes.
show, I didn't see that shit. I kind of zoned out on that myself. But yeah.
So yes, this was a comic written by Brian K. Vaughan. It's basically about some disease that wipes out all the male mammals on planet Earth, leaving all the women alive, except for one guy named Yorick. And him and his monkey are the only two males that survive this plague. Hence the title, "Y the Last Man," and it's basically
because the Y chromosome.
Yeah,
whoever had that,
anything with the Y chromosome. Yeah. So basically, it turns into this dystopian, futuristic, apocalyptic tale of civilization crumbling because all the men have died, and you realize that men basically ran the world. Most of the politicians were males. Most, construction workers were males. Most doctors and mechanics. Most statistically, men had all the jobs. It basically pointed out the sexism of Earth. Once all the males were gone, the women were left to rebuild. And so for a while, the world is left in shambles. And politically, it gets into the politics. Most of the politicians were male, and them rebuilding the government, trying to rebuild the world. And then, of course, there's this one last guy who is trying to look for his fiance or this woman that he's in love with, but then he's gets teamed up with the secret agent, and they basically trying to find out why he survived and how to save the world, basically. And it's basically his journey. I never finished the comic. I've only read.
It's only 60 issues. I just looked at it.
Is it only? Is it? I thought it went a lot longer. I know it went on for a while.
It just felt longer, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I probably read like maybe 20 something. I don't know.
Because the whole thing's on DC Universe, so I was thinking about maybe getting around to it after I read Massive Kung Fu, or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I read about 20 something issues. I never finished any Brian K. Vaughan shit. Never finished Saga. Paper Girls. I was super into Paper Girls for a while. Never finished that. So he's a world builder. He tends to drag shit out. So now we have this show based on the comic, and the show managed to drag out a Brian K. Vaughan story.
Right, and that's my thing. I'm gonna just brief. I'm gonna let you finish, but I just going to briefly talk about. Like I said, I have no familiarity with the comic at all. Like everybody's going nuts. So all I know is this show, and this show fucking sucks, man. It's boring as hell. It was like, I don't care about any of these people in this shit, man. I don't even care about the main guy in this show. He's like the worst one. And the show is about him. So I was just like, why am I watching this shit? Okay, get to the point. Get to the exciting shit. Where are the fucking, women Amazon supermodels and shit? Where are they?
Yeah.
Is that in the comic? That's got to be a thing in the comic.
Yeah, there's actually a gang of like man-hating like women who want to kill all men, who blame the world, men for ruining the world, and they're after him. They're looking for him and want to kill the last, man, because he's a man, and and they're called the Amazons, or so their daughters are the Amazons, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you make a comment like this, that's got to be a thing. It's got to be a main thing in it. But yeah, I'm watching this. Was bored out of my mind with this. Every now and then there was some pockets of, oh, that's interesting. But honestly, I didn't care about this show. They can keep it going. I don't care. If you keep watching and keep reviewing it, go for it. I don't.
Yeah, I made it through 2 episodes, and I was like, damn, this is slow. Well, maybe the next one they'll get thing going. And then I'm like, damn, okay, they're still not getting things going. You know, because by issue 2 or 3, I remember shit's popping off in the comic. You know?
Oh, really? Okay. Because honestly, this made me not want to read the comic. I'm just like, the comic's like,
No,
this, fuck this whole
the comic is actually pretty cool. Like
Okay.
it like that's what the show needs to be, more Mad Max and less West Wing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because I'm just like, they just stuck in this office the whole time talking about what are we gonna do? No man, no man. And I don't care. I don't care. Get to the plot,
Yeah.
get to the point, cut to the chase.
Yeah. It's him traveling, you know, they find like a scientist, this DNA scientist, and they're trying to figure out Dr. Man. They team up with her, but then there's so much other shit that happens. Like, I want to say it's fast paced because the book is like, it's a Brian K. Vaughan book. He's a slow burn, you know, but he does set things up where it keeps the pace. The pace is, you know, it keeps it going. You know, it keeps you interested. You know, the Amazons, the shit going on in Israel, the spoilers, the astronauts. You know, you get to shit kind of quickly in the book, and this is like, we're 3 episodes in, and he's just now leaving. You know what I'm saying? He's just now leaving on the quest or whatever. You know what I mean?
And I think if people are already going to claim this a masterpiece, but like that, just because, like I said, if the book is as good as they say it are, people are going to want this to be good because they're attached to it, and that's the thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many TV shows, like apocalyptic, dystopian TV shows that you know that we've had in recent years. You know, and this is just another one of them. It's nothing we haven't seen before, and if you haven't read the comic, you're not. It's you know, it's like, fine, this ain't as cool as Walking Dead or, you know, or whatever, or Handmaid's Tale or whatever other apocalyptic dystopian TV show that's been going on in the recent years that are way better than this, you know. So I do recommend the comic. I've never finished it just because, you know, 60 issues, you know, damn.
60 issues isn't that bad,
when you stretch it out over the year, I just remember it went on for years, you know. It's just, you know, so I just fell off it and I just never finished it, you know, like I do with so many books. You know, comics are, you got to commit. Comic book, you know, when you follow a run, it's a relationship. You got to commit. You got to go down.
That is true. That is true.
You know what I mean? And when there's so much stuff going on, it's hard to stay faithful.
Like, you look at a book with 200 runs, you're just like, do I want to get into that? But it's like TV shows also. Like TV shows, you know, 8 seasons of this show. Oh, you got to watch this. 8 seasons. It doesn't get good till 3rd season, but don't worry, when they get 3rd season, it gets good. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, no shit.
So comics are the same way. I mean, it's 200 issues. It doesn't get good till issue 75 when everything, like, the fuck, man? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like, for me, Invincible didn't get good till like like 12 or 14. When did his dad turn into a dick? Whatever that was.
About 13,
was like,
issue 13.
Yeah, it was like 12 issues.
So it's 12 issues, 1 issue a month. That's a whole year. That's a whole year.
A
So you're reading a book a whole year where nothing happens. And people are saying, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. You got to read this, the greatest thing ever. Don't worry about the first year of comics. Wait till the 2nd year and then it gets good. Like, who the fuck wants to do that? You know?
Yeah. But
anyway,
but Why the Last Man, the comic it sets up what happens and then it gets going. It's like I said, it's all about that journey. You know, Yorick's journey and all the fucked up shit he, you know, encounters along the way, you know. So yeah, this, like said, I don't know how they're managing to drag this out even longer. I mean, what does this show think they have, like 10 seasons or something? Because
I guess they do, even though Hulu never gets a show that goes that long. So I don't know
this is 3 episodes in, and we're just now beginning to get things going. Like, come on, you know. So I wasn't that impressed, you know, with this show. So
I'm pretty sure others would call it. I'm pretty sure others would call it a modern day classic. But I don't care. All right.
I'm sure I'm sure there's some fans out there who will love it regardless and have that attachment to it. And
why? Because they're name dropping people that they know. Oh, that's that person. Oh, that's that person. So they're already into it. You know. So.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just a little slow. Like I said, they managed to drag out. They managed to make Brian K. Vaughan even slower.
All right, so let's get to the next thing. All right, sticking with Hulu. Like I said, we're gonna talk about Wu-Tang American Saga season 2. So Eli, I'm gonna let you take this also. Just see what you think about this.
So did you watch any of it? You watched them, right?
I watched, I guess, the first 3-4 episodes.
There's 4 now. There's
There's four now?
Yeah.
I may or may not have saw the 4th one. I'm not really sure. I know
Were
I
they
saw
on
at
the
least
boat?
3.
Were they on the ferry?
I don't think I saw that one. Okay.
Oh, okay. That was a good one. That was actually a good episode. So yeah, this is the story of the Wu-Tang. The Wu-Tang Clan, the hip hop group, super group, very influential. And this is the story of their life, their biopic, so to speak. And so this is, we're on season 2 now. Now things are starting to happen. Things are starting to pick up. I'm actually digging this season a lot more than the first one. The first season I felt like went way back into their past.
Right.
Before they had their names, the old beef setting up, all their old grimy days and stuff. We got to see them all coming up, and but now season 2, we're finally see the Wu-Tang starting to take shape. They're getting their names, their songs are starting to, you're getting to see where some of their songs are coming from. The clan is finally starting to take shape. So that's what I'm digging. As a fan, I'm into this new season a lot more. So yeah, we get to see, we left off last season where RZA went on the run after, shooting that one thug dude that was out to get him. And then he went and hid out in Ohio for a while. And then he got into some shit out there. And he almost did where he shot somebody in self-defense and almost did time for it. That's actually, I've heard about that. That actually happened where he was looking at like 20 years or whatever. And then he got off, and that's when he's just like, okay, I'm turning my life around. We're going to take music seriously. And that was like the turning point for him. So that's where we're at in the show. It's RZA's turning point. He's like, I'm going to start this hip hop group. I'm going to take this music seriously. Let's do this thing for real. He turns his name from Rakim to RZA, ruler zigzag zigala. That's where he, the Nation of Islam, he started getting all those beliefs from Jizza and all that. So we're starting to see it all take shape. The seeds are being planted now for the Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm digging it. I'm catching, as a fan of their music, I'm catching all the little references and stuff. Ghostface, when he plays that beat for All That I Got Is You, that one episode. It says,
and Ghostface gets the beat. He like, just do whatever you're going to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have this. You do whatever you want. Well, I need a drum beat. He's like, no, don't even put drums to it. And that song doesn't have drums to it. And it's one of Ghostface's classic jams. Kind of makes you misty-eyed when you listen to it.
Right, because he like really talking about some real stuff on there. So
yeah, Ghostface had that got an intimate style. He had a very personal, intimate
and he was
way
a storyteller. He was a storyteller.
Very
visual,
personal way. He expressed a lot of personal shit in his songs, and you can tell, and they get you emotional. I mean, I'll admit, I've gotten like I said, I get a little misty listening to a couple of his jams,
Because
so
all I got
cool.
is you don't even need a video for that. You can just listen to it, and it's just like the song you can see it. You can see it from the song.
Yeah, so. It hits you in the feels, and he's done that, but he's done that a few times, that seeing Deck, the scene where Meth and Deck were talking about superheroes, and Method Man was like, fuck Batman.
Right. I don't fuck with DC cool. Comics anyway,
yeah, I don't even fuck with DC Comics. That was cool. And watching that scene where they're watching 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, which is an old
what his mom was watching, and she was breaking down the story.
There's a classic Shaw Brothers Kung Fu movie, which another influential movie for the RZA. They even named one of their albums 8 Diagrams. So yeah, that was cool. And then the last episode where they're on the ferry. There's an episode, I won't spoil anything. It's just RZA gets together with Divine, his brother, Ghostface, and then Power and Raekwon, who were from, they were rival gangs, and he's basically trying to get them to squash the beef and start this. And it's a cool episode. It takes place on the ferry. They're all stuck on this boat. They're stuck on the Staten Island ferry.
Yeah.
And it's basically, them trying to have a Godfather sit down type thing, and it was really cool. I really dug it, so yeah, I'm really digging this new season, as a fan of the Wu-Tang, and just, getting all the references and stuff.
Okay. Can I say what my piece, just say what I got to say about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my mic is in the camera. Oh, it's not. Anyway. Yeah. So first season, Eli, honestly, I thought it was kind of a letdown for me. Mm-hmm. And going into this one, I was just like, I don't know what to expect from this season 2. But yeah, season 1 was let down for me. The reason I got into this show, because I thought it sold me on, okay, it's going to be the whole music aspect of it, about how they came together, how they came with the song. And this season 2 is starting to become more and more like that. But it felt like the first season felt more like it was preoccupied with trying to be in a knockoff Power, Snowfall, Wire, Black Sopranos clone that we've seen much better shows doing what they're trying to do on this show. And let's be honest, that shit wasn't accurate. Like, some shit was accurate, but a lot of shit they were just making up on the fly, just throwing that shit in there. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was just like, what are you doing? Give me a show about Wu-Tang, about how about the music process gets me. And I almost wanted to just drop this show, but every now and then there are pockets of it that really sell. The first last episode in season finale, season 1, really got me when they got together. They did that freestyle together, or even how RZA was breaking down the Kung Fu movie, but he was narrating the Kung Fu movie himself. I like, see, this is what I'm looking for. Give me something that nobody else is doing. Make it Wu-Tang instead of just another knockoff, Power, Snowfall. And I get it, because those shows are super popular. Everybody watches them, but I don't want a clone show because I don't watch those shows.
Yeah.
Give me something else, Yeah. But now that they're starting to get more into the music aspect of it and deal with that, now I'm starting to get more and more into the show. So we'll see. Like I said, the first season rubbed me the wrong way, but the second season, I'm trying to see where it's going to go. So see if my opinion changes.
Yeah, it was kind of like I just trying to it was just trying to be another crime drama. And I was like, I want to see more of that. Like, I heard about Rakim, like Prince Rakim and all that shit. And, Jizza doing Come Do Me. And when they were signed, all those, the pop hip hop shit, and they were trying to market them to the pop crowd. Right. And it went way too long into that. Get to the gritty shit, get to the Wu-Tang, get to that's what I was waiting for. Now this season they are.
So, I mean, that's they promised. They said at the beginning of the season he's going to be Rakim. At the end of the season he'll be RZA. So yeah. So we'll see how it goes from there. So, all right, can we move to the next part of the section? Part of okay. So now we get into the video game section. This week, actually not even this weekend. This Monday, that PlayStation had a showcase where they released all the games they got coming out for 2022 and 2023 and all stuff like that. Bunch of no-name shit I've never heard of and probably won't even play. But there was some shit that did catch my attention because they did announce 2 Marvel games, because Insomniac, the same people that made Spider-Man, are making Spider-Man 2. So, and Miles Morales, is it 2-player? Is it 1-player? We don't know. And Venom has been confirmed as being one of the villains in the game, which he was teased in the first game also. And the narration of the game sound like it might have been Kraven the Hunter, maybe. So that's 2 villains confirmed already.
Spider-Man.
Right. So yeah, but so they released a picture of Venom. We are Venom, so Venom was on there. I think it might not be Eddie Brock. I think it might be Harry Osborn in that, but we'll see. Another quick picture of him. Like I said, it's going to be Miles Morales and Peter in there. And another game they announced also was Wolverine. So they're making a Wolverine game. Yeah. Is it going to be M-rated? I think they're hinting at that it might be. I'm not going to play the trailer because I think it had like a red band on it, so I'm not going to play it because I want to get the show flagged or whatever. So, but yeah, so Insomniac and Wolverine, Spider-Man and Wolverine. So these are both PlayStation exclusive games, So I was like, okay, cool. I'm excited. But wait, Eli, there's more.
Ooh.
That's just Insomniac. So now we got to talk about the biggest game that everybody been talking about, God of War 2 or of War Ragnarok. That's the name of it. So it says it's not going to be a trilogy. It's going to be just that one game. It's just they made the first game. It's gonna be a second part of the game, and it's gonna be it. So just knocking out some stuff real quick, showing what we got. Like I said, you got Kratos, you got Atreus. If you watched the last game, spoiler alert, this is Loki. So Freya, you know, the witch, Murmur, he's a thing. Brock, he's a thing. Sindri, he's a thing. Oh, this got a lot of people upset also. So this is Angrboda, I think a name, what you want to call it. So in Norse mythology, she's the mother of monsters. You know, all them weird ass kids that Loki had and shit like that. That's their mom, Fenris, and yeah. So basically, he cheated on his wife to go to Jotunheim. She wasn't a black chick, of course. She was like some big giant monster and shit like that. And that's where you got from there. So of course, you know, the usual crowd, the peanut gallery, are upset over that. Even though we got blue people, monsters, and a headless dude make a black chick with dreads, that's when they lose their shit. So yeah. But that's not the biggest thing. I don't know who Derlin is. This is the biggest thing, literally and figuratively. Thor. So Thor has been confirmed, even though he was hinted at the last game, even though he was like a special ending where they just showed his hammer. Now Thor is in the game. People are freaking out. Oh, how does that Thor? It doesn't look like Thor. In Norse mythology, this is actually what Thor is supposed to look like. Red hair, not Hemsworthy or whatever. You know, he's supposed to look, you know, big sack of shit that just beats the shit out of everybody. So that's what Thor looks like. So people are comparing it. They saying, oh, they ripped off the in-game version of Thor. Like, no, the in-game actually got Thor right by accident. That's all, you know. And back when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee was making Thor in their 60s Marvel comics, they wanted to separate them. They want their Thor to look like this, you know. They wanted Thor to look like a superhero, and superheroes didn't look like that, or they don't look like that now. Hell, he's the bad guy of the game. So yeah, so that's the thing. So I'm excited, Eli. Like I said, technically Sony is dropping 3 Marvel games. I'm saying that's a Marvel game. I don't give a fuck. God of War is a Marvel game because it got Thor in it and everybody else in there, and you got Spider-Man, you got Wolverine. But guess what, Eli? Nobody can still find PS5s. So who the hell's gonna be playing this shit?
Well, even if I do find one, I don't know if I want to spend like $1,000 on it either.
Right. You gotta spend money on the system, then all those games and the DLC. So yeah. They'll probably be on PS4 anyway. So yeah. You can't even find those anymore right now. You know, so I don't know. Eli, we forgot a topic. The topic that you want to talk about. We did. My fault. What? I skipped over one because, like I said, this is your show. This is your show.
Is it?
So it is. So, like I said, we want to talk about this. Yo boy. Now, this is your boy. I say that sarcastic a lot of times, but this is your boy.
I guess, sure.
So, like I said, I'm gonna step back. I know you want to get your hell yeahs out of the way and stuff like that. So go ahead with it.
So
I may or may not chime in, but yeah.
Well, so what's his name? Denis Villeneuve, whatever, the director of Dune, and the last Blade Runner movie, which was looked awesome but was boring as shit. And what was that Alien movie he did with Sandra Bullock? That looked awesome and that was boring as shit.
I don't think it was Sandra Bullock. I think it was
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Yeah.
Anyway, so he was doing an interview and he was asked about what he thought about the Marvel movies, and he told them what he thought. And he thinks that they're just a factory putting out a product, a cut and paste product, a factory movie that they're just putting out a homogenized factory toy or whatever.
He's made it. He's at the cool kids table.
Yeah. So,
Coppola, Scorsese, like, come on to the table.
So, and of course the comments lit up, comic nerds, crying like they do, and whatever. It's just, they asked him, he said it, what are you gonna do? I don't know. So it's Scorsese all over again, but I don't know.
Everybody gets it. Oh, Eli, I thought you were gonna give it to me, man. I thought you were.
I don't. I just thought it was kind of funny. Everyone, they every time this topic gets brought up,
right? They like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy? I'm not gonna see that movie. That movie's gonna suck, and all that shit. So yeah whatever. I don't know. That's what he said. So
okay. So some guy that said Marvel sucked. Okay, cool. All right. So let's talk more about these comic book made by Marvel. So, yes, like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies, where we talk about comic books. And Eli, I know you had a light week. I had a busy week. So
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so let's just start off with the book that I was going to do. I'll just start off with mine first, and I'll let you jump in. But yeah, we're going to start off with X-Men Part 2, Trial of Magneto. So yeah, we talk about that one, go from there. And we're just going to just jump into it. So let me see if I can get that. Ooh. All right, so basically what's going on right now is that Scarlet Witch is dead. Wanda's dead, and everybody thinks that Magneto did it. And the X-Men got into a big fight with Magneto last time. But it turns out that he may or may not have done it, or Scarlet Witch may or may not even be alive, be dead. Is it a thing? We don't know. I mean, we know she was going to come back anyway, but we know she was going to come back in the exact same issue where they killed her, So, but that's what's going on right now. So the last issue, they knocked Magneto out, and while he's out, they're trying to basically rummage through his brain to see if he slips up and tells people that, yeah, I'm the one that killed Wanda. So when he gets there, he's walking around. He just like, look, Charles, I know you're there. You're not gonna get any information out of me. I'm not that dumb. Even without my helmet, I'm still strong enough to stop you. And it turns out that the reason he found out they were there because of Hope. Because Hope says, "Oops, my bad. I'm not as strong as Professor X." Hope Summers is Cable's daughter and Cyclops and Jean Grey's granddaughter, whatever. I don't know. Anyway. She says that, why are we torturing Magneto? Like, no, we're not torturing him. Yeah, you're torturing him. You're putting him under to get information out of him under a forced confession. That's torture. Before they can do that, he was like, why didn't you call like the other ones, like Jean Grey or Emma Frost or some of the big telepaths that are stronger than me? I couldn't do that because they have other things to take care of. And then you see the X-Men greeting the Avengers. The Avengers have come to record. And they were like, oh shit, so they got this big standoff going on right now. So what's going to go down between them? They just hug it out. They just say, sorry for your loss. They knew what Wanda meant to the Avengers and stuff like that. They basically called the Avengers here so they can get Wanda's body. That's the main thing. So while they're doing all that, they go there. While they're walking to Wanda's body, they're trying to make sure that they don't actually show them the 5 and that they have the cure for resurrection, because the X-Men have been hiding that fact from everybody. And basically, which one mutant? Jean Grey says that, well, I mean, if they find it, I'll just erase their mind, but I'd rather not do that. But it turns out they didn't have to, because another mutant was way ahead of them, and it turns out it was Emma Frost in a bathing suit. So of course, when that happens, Tony Stark goes into full, attack mode. He's like, hey, what's going on? You remember, I'm a billionaire, right? So she ignores him, walk past him. But it turns out that she's actually, the whole bathing suit thing is a ruse. It's not real. The resurrection chamber is actually right behind them with the Stephen Cuckoos, with 100 other X-Men behind them, but she's like brain shielding the Avengers so they can't see it. All they see is her in a bathing suit, and that's it. So when they get to it, while all that is going on, X Factor, I don't care about the X Factor. Wanda, she's still alive doing some weird shit. So here's the thing. Hope Summers, she's talking about she was all weak and shit like that. She's in the room by herself because Professor X left to go do something else. She walks in and she makes Magneto wake up. Wake your ass up. And she was like, all right, it's time to get up. Whatever you do, make sure the Avengers don't get Wanda's body. And he's like, wait, what are you talking about? And she was like, I told you, make sure they don't get Magneto's body. So she was acting like she was all weak and shit at first. Now she's brainwashing Magneto. So she's way stronger than what she was saying before. And why does she not want the Avengers to get Wanda's body? And also one of her powers is that she can mimic other people's body powers. So if magnetism did kill Wanda, it might be her. So they're really trying to put a red herring on her. So yeah, go past that. The Avengers, talk and stuff like that, but it doesn't really matter because that's when Magneto shows up and tries to take over basically try to go in there and get Wanda's body. He's just like, I want the Avengers to leave Krakoa now. So while they're doing that, Iron Man's like, I'm about to go out there. Don't worry, my suit is magnet proof. I can't get them, And he's just like, look, I'll give y'all guys 10 minutes to handle the situation. If you don't, I will. So that's when Lorna goes out there and attacks them. And and basically she built this whole structure where they're at right now, and she basically magnetized the whole thing, and then the X-Men attacking them. And then or X Factor don't care. Oh yeah, then the Avengers get into it. They were like, yeah, I know we're gonna wait 10 minutes. We didn't feel like it. So the Avengers jump in, they fight, and Wasp smacks Magneto, and then Magneto like grabs Captain America's shield. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. Smacks Iron Man with it, grabs Vision because he's all metal, and throws him at the ground. So this is why the Avengers don't fight Magneto. So yeah. So then he's like, who's next? And then that's when North Star's husband shows up, and Magneto grabs him, and he's like, leave Krakoa right now, or I'm gonna kill this guy. And he was like, no, he's an innocent. No, he's a human. I don't care about him, you know. So then that's when North Star is just like, Avengers, get the fuck out. You know, I'm trying to make sure he doesn't get hurt. And that's when Magneto just says, fine, don't go for Wanda. I kill Wanda. I'm the one that did it. Arrest me right now. Take me with you. Because he basically don't want them to get to the body. That's when Wanda flies down and just says, no, you didn't. She was like, because I'm still here. And then Mystique is hiding in the bush, just like, well, that's interesting. So Wanda touches down and just kisses Vision. Wanda Vision, Wanda Vision. That's a book. So, yeah. So, is it Wanda? Is it a fake Wanda? Is it a Skrull? Is it another mutant? Is it a Vision? Who knows? Anyway, she's not dead. But it kind of takes the fun out of it when they bring Wanda back like immediately. Like, at least let it die for like 2 months or something, a month, or 2 weeks, something.
She wasn't dead. She wasn't even dead in the last issue. She
narrated the last issue. That's the thing. So it's like, so yeah, this you had a cool story. It could have been a cool story. Now just like, well, what's the point? I don't know, because he didn't kill anybody. So anyway,
double jeopardy.
Right. Yeah. So So what you got next?
Since we're on Marvel, I guess I'll do the Fantastic Four, number 35, the 60th anniversary.
Cool.
Yes.
Where is that? Not there.
So this is a big, thick, girthy book. Over 80 pages of book. Yeah.
What is it, kind of like an anthology where it's just like a whole bunch of different stories and stuff?
Kinda, not really. It's structured like that. It's one long story, but it's kind of like an anthology.
Because here's the thing. I know everybody hates Dan Slott, but Dan Slott is good enough to make a long ass story like this that's on the fly. Because remember, he did it with Spider-Man 800. That was an 80-page long ass story, and that shit was awesome.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, this is I mean, I'm not current on the Fantastic Four run, so I don't know what's going on. But basically, the Kangs.
It's a Kang story.
It's a Kang story. The Kangs, the Council of Kangs. There's like Immortus. There's regular Kang, and another Kang, and then another Kang. There's like 4 of them. You know, hence the Fantastic Four. They're after this weapon, this ultimate prize, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go back and get pieces of this ultimate weapon, and different, you know, during different time periods of the Fantastic Four's life. So that's basically what it is. And that's where you get the one story. Everybody gets a story. One Kang goes back to when they first got together, back in the 60s. One guy goes back to them, you know, when present day, and another, you know, so different times. Each Kang goes back to different time periods of the Fantastic Four's life, in sort of as a celebration of 60 years of the Fantastic Four.
Now that's clever. That's clever.
Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but of course, Reed is on to him. The last Kang, his name was Scion, I guess. Was that his name? Scion or something like that. Turns out it was Reed all along. He was disguising himself. He was ahead of them, knew what was going on, disguised himself as a Kang, and brought back the ending battle was Reed and the Fantastic Four brought back the old Fantastic Four to fight the
60s.
Kangs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, young and old Fantastic Four is all coming together and fighting and kicking the shit out of the Kangs. And then the TVA shows up, of course, because they're the hot shit right now. And they arrest all the Kangs. And it turns out the weapon that they were getting was some sort of communication device with a message from Reed's dad, saying that he has a sister. And
no,
to be continued. So then that sets up the rest of the oncoming book.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's just a celebration of Fantastic Four. We see these Kangs going back to different time periods. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing,
Fantastic.
Fantastic. It's just, if you're a fan, that's all it is. It's let's give the Fantastic Four their props. And that's basically what it does. And here's a variant cover, which your boy, John Romita Jr.,
he didn't draw this, did he? Like the art.
He drew some of it, yeah. But here, this cover's dope. Is this Alex
that cover's
Ross?
dope? Yeah,
this is pretty fucking
I think
dope.
Yeah,
that's like poster. That's wall worthy. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, they should have had him do it. Just stretch it out.
Yeah. So 3 out of 5. It was alright. And it was 80. It was like over 80 pages. So this wore me out. That's why I didn't read much.
I mean, that's a whole book unto itself. Should split it up into two.
It's like 4 books. Yeah, it's like
you should just did like one section at a time. Like, okay, part 2, we're gonna do part 3.
Yeah. So
here's the thing: I got a book this week that beats that.
Okay.
I mean, as far as length, but we'll get there. The next book I'm going to do is The Last Annihilation, Wakanda #1. This is a one shot. This is a one shot book. Like I said, we haven't been reviewing The Last Annihilation, anything like that, but it's the whole thing about, Immortus and I'm sorry, not Immortus. No, that's your book you just
Annihilus.
No, not Annihilus. Dormammu.
Really?
Yeah, Dormammu. The whole book is about Dormammu. Yeah. Dormammu is trying to take over, and he's trying to take over space.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was a Guardians thing or something.
It is a Guardians thing.
I'm not current on that Guardians run, so
that's what that whole Guardians thing is right now. So they're fighting Dormammu. That's what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, and basically all the space people and shit like that are crossing over because of Ta-Nehisi Coates' last run. Now Wakanda is in that space shit bullshit, whatever. So since they got to do that, this is their problem too. So that's what the whole book is about. So the book, like I said, notice it's not called Black Panther, it's called Wakanda because T'Challa is actually not the protagonist of this book. It's M'Baku.
Okay.
So yeah, but you got to remember the M'Baku isn't the same M'Baku that used to be the Black Panther bad guy, stuff like that. This M'Baku is, the space alien from the future or past. I can't remember, and he did some research on where he got his name from, and then he realized that, I used to be a Black Panther. The person I got my name from used to be a Black Panther villain. Like, that's screwed up. Now, since Ndjaka died, their previous emperor, his daughter is now orphaned, and M'Baku is raising the daughter, and she calls him Uncle M'Baku. The Dora Milaje are training her, all this stuff like that. So, they're just living on like a Wakanda on Earth, planet Earth, and just like that. Meanwhile, the whole Dread Dormammu bullshit going on right now. Like I said, Sword, Abigail Brand is trying to recruit the Wakandan Empire to try to help out. Like the Shi'ar Empire is about to fall. They don't want anybody's help, but we need y'all. If you Wakandans can help out, we really appreciate it. So it's like, okay. But here's the thing. T'Challa's is like, I want to help out, but I can't. I got other shit I got to deal with. What other shit you got to deal with? Find out in Black Panther #1 coming in November. Dun, dun, dun. Written by John Ridley, Dave Ridley, John Ridley, whatever guy's name is.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, that guy. So anyway, while they're going over, he's like, that's okay. I can't do it, but I got a guy that can do it. So that's when he goes back to Wakanda Prime, which is what they call Wakanda on Earth. And he sees M'Baku just sitting on the Panther Mound. He's in the vibranium mounds. And basically Wakanda, T'Challa's trying to tell him, I need you to go to space and save the Shi'ar. You're like, okay, sure, whatever. And he just goes, he goes, but he goes by himself, he goes with the team. So apparently the Wakandans have their own Avengers. I guess I gotta show you this shit. They got okay. I'm gonna show you the Wakandan Avengers. Where are they? Fuck. Oh yeah, and he talks to the Indijaka's daughter. She called him Uncle M'Baku, and basically it's like, are you going back to space? Like my dad when he came back and turned like venom and shit like that. When you go to space, please don't come back a monster. And it's foreshadowing, and because the monster is like on two different levels, not like just a monster like a monster, but like like going like Vietnam, and you come back, you don't come back the right way, kind of like that. And he's wearing the old Jabari tribe M'Baku suit. So here we go. The Wakandan Avengers. So you got M'Baku, you got Shuri, T'Challa can go, and you got her boyfriend, Manifold, who's been an Avenger, who's been a X-Man. Actually, he's an X-Man now. Who's been a Sword member, who's been a Shield member. He's been everything, And Vibraxis. I think he's a mutant or some shit. I don't know. He's from Wakanda, I know that. So they go to space, Oh, and like I said, Manifold and Shuri are things. She's just like, look, this is our first date. You better take me on a real date after this, And they go to Shi'ar. But the thing about Shi'ar is that they hate the Wakandans, not the Earth Wakandans, the space Wakandans, because Indijaka tried to, conquer them, So they think it's the same Wakandans coming in trying to get them. So that's when Manifold shows up and they go to war and they start fighting. You got Gladiator, supposed to be like Marvel Superman. And that's when Deathbird shows up and she's just like, you get the hell up out of here. I don't want any Wakandans here fighting us, Oh, and you got the Imperial Guard who kicked that commander's ass back in the 80s, but nobody ever mentions that anymore. But it's a thing that happened. And let's get to Deathbird. So Deathbird is like, Wakandans, get the hell out of here. I don't want anything to do with y'all. She's like, no. And Baku's like, we're not those Wakandans. That was Indijaka. We fought them just like y'all fought them. There's a whole new thing. So, and that's when they fight. Anyway, let's get to the end. Basically what they do, they just fight. And it turns out the mindless ones, Dormammu's, minions and shit like that, they take over the moon. I can't find a picture of the moon. So they take over the moon. And so what the Wakandans do is that the same thing that they tried to conquer the Shi'ar with, they use it to encase the Shi'ar planet. But they thinking that the Shi'ar thinking that the Wakandans are basically using this as an excuse to try to take over the planet, but they really do is trying to protect them. So when they protect them and they do all this stuff like that, but anyway, they get their ass kicked, and right before they get their ass kicked, boom, guess who shows up? T'Challa and Storm. Like, we're here to help. So they help out. They help fix the shield, the space thing around the Shi'ar planet. They fix it, and yeah, that's it. So anyway, the whole point of what happened is that going forward, the Shi'ar and Wakandans are now on good terms. The war, the beef between them is over. And Indijaka and T'Challa and M'Baku have a conversation. And T'Challa just said, look, I got to deal with Earth, Wakanda on Earth. I want you to be my eyes and ears in space. You run the Wakandan Empire. I got you too. Bye. And that's the book. Very long book, very lengthy book. It was a very entertaining book. I just kind of flew through it because it was like fighting. But still enjoyed it. Like I said, this was the guy. Oh, what's big? There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I said, I had fun with the book. It was I just tried to keep it short because it was a long, lengthy book also in its own right. Like I said, it was a one shot. And you can read this without knowing all about the mindless ones and Dormammu and all that other bullshit. Because they fill you in pretty quickly. Even on Tenny Hits the Coast Run, they kind of fill you in quickly about what's going on. So yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you got next?
I'll guess. Well, the only other book I read was Batman '89.
Okay, I actually read this, but I'll let you take over now.
Let's see. Okay.
Spoiler alert: this book was awesome. I thought it was awesome, me personally.
Yeah, it was. It was good. I know. I'm digging this book. So yeah, this is number 2 in the Tim Burton Batman movie verse. So we have so it picks up right where like the last issue left off, where what was it, the cops or whatever ambushed Batman and they accidentally shoot a kid or a dude.
That was the kid that he was trying to capture himself, but he just
he was robbing to feed the baby or whatever, and then he got killed. This sets off a bunch of protests down in the what's it called? Not Brownsville. What's
Burnside.
it called? Burnside.
Burnside. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got like a, kind of a social current event sort of theme going on.
Black
they're
Lives Matter.
Yeah,
it's all there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're protesting, the shooting of this kid, this unarmed kid. Batman, of course, feels guilty about it. Alfred basically tells him, hey, maybe some heroes don't always wear capes.
Right.
And,
like Batman can't solve this problem. Maybe Bruce Wayne can.
Yeah.
Which is shit we've been saying the whole time.
Yeah. So basically, he, then of course Harvey Dent is involved too. Billy D. Williams is Harvey Dent. He is trying to, contribute to his old neighborhood. Of course, he gets a little, side-eyed from some of them, telling he's a sellout. You don't, live in the hood no more and all that shit. But he does, make a speech, and Bruce Wayne is inspired by the speech and basically says, hey, I'm going to help out every kid in Burnside. I'm going to buy them all college scholarships, full ride to whatever college or technical school they want to go to. So because he feels guilty about what's been happening, he's trying to make a change. And of course, some of them are like, "Oh, he probably owns the schools and all that shit."
Yeah, he's got some kind of Which hey, they do that shit all the time.
They do. People get shit donated, and they're like, "These ain't Nikes."
Right. So they're right for thinking that. I don't even mind them for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Harvey's like, "Hey, he's a good guy. He wants to help." Of course, then what happened? There's a fire, right? What's going on? Oh, Catwoman shows up. So Catwoman, Selena Kyle. So Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman from Returns, shows up, and she, who is she chasing? I forget. She was chasing those robbers. So yeah, there's a scene with Robin, Marlon Wayne's Robin gets into a fight with this Batman gang, and he beats them up. They were trying to rob a store, and then that's where he gets his name. They call him Robin.
Now, and that was a social commentary too, also, because remember, they was patrolling the streets. They went to the Burnside neighborhood, knowing they don't fit in with the neighborhood. They're like, you know what? Let's start looting and blame it on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was okay. I see what you're doing, comic.
Yeah. Which happens. There's footage.
Yep.
Last year, Twin Cities here. There's footage. I've seen it.
Which owned right.
and it got removed. All that footage got removed.
Right. So you live in Gotham City, Eli. You get it,
Yeah, I was sharing all that shit. Now you go to my timeline, this content is no longer available.
Right. So people reading this comic, oh, that shit doesn't happen. It's just
fake news.
Right.
Yeah. So the Robin or Marlon or no, his name is Richard Drake. So it's like not Tim Drake and not Dick Grayson. It's Dick Drake. Richard Drake, is that his name? I think that is his name.
I think I know they kept calling him Drake. I don't remember his first name, but yeah, they kept calling
I
him
think
Drake.
it's Richard. So it's Dick and Drake. So yeah, he beats up those cops, but then Catwoman follows them into the garage or something, and then the fire starts.
Because they find out who he is. They find out his real name. So
yeah, and then they start a fire at the garage where Drake hangs out at. They're like, oh shit, Drake's in that garage, and then Harvey runs in to go save him, but then there's an explosion and he falls on the ground. He's all fucked up, and then some battery acid or whatever starts draining towards his face on the floor. Yeah. So this is pretty much, we know where this is leading. He's going to become Harvey Two-Face, and that's where the book ends. And yeah, I'm loving this. I still love those Burton movies, and this is right back in the vein of those of the spirit of those Burton.
But you can tell they did some tweaks. A lot of this social commentary would not have been in that movie if they made this in that third movie.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, none of that shit would have been. None of that. The protest
book is a little woke. The book is a little woke, but you know what? Yeah. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But it is bringing up those conversations that yes, we keep having about Batman, about, if Batman were real, he's no fun, but if he was, then he would do a lot better as Bruce Wayne.
Because Batman is barely in this book.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, he's barely in it.
No, he takes even Alfred says he's gone on hiatus. Like after that kid gets shot, he feels guilty.
Right, because the police were shooting at Batman, and the kid kind of straight. It was like, oops,
Yeah.
Even other little things, and then also like, man, when they mentioned code switching, I was like, oh, who's writing this? That's why I was like, who's writing it? How do they even know about code switching?
Yeah, in '89,
and then nobody, that wasn't even a term,
Yeah. He was talking about setting up a network. So they're establishing that this Robin
the internet.
He
was trying to create the internet. Yeah,
he's like a hacker. He's a tech whiz, But also, like when they're talking about when he faces the Batman gang, and he's like, Batman don't mean shit to me, meaning that Batman never comes down to this neighborhood. Batman doesn't help us out. That's why he's doing what he's doing.
We've been talking about the whole time. It's honestly, Eli, it's like the guy that writing this book sat there and listened to our podcast and just like, okay, these are what I'm going to make this book about. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And even the fact when they call him Robin, he was like, he was robbing the store. Bam. What did you say? He was robbing. Bam. Say it again. What'd you say? So he got his name Robin because they kept saying he was robbing the store, or like Robin Hood or something like that, So I thought that was pretty good. So man,
Robin in the Hood.
Yeah. So I'm digging the hell out of this book, man. I'm loving it. I know Goma wrote these books off of just like frivolous foo-foo shit like that Superman 83 or whatever like that. Like this isn't that. Not to me. They actually, putting in work and actually really doing something with this book, I feel.
Yeah. It's too bad that that it didn't get made, but I think it. Yeah, I mean, I think
if it did get made, it would be nothing like this.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. I mean, Warner Brothers took the franchise away from Burton, because after the second one, because Burton made it too dark and he cared more about the villains than he did Batman. And they're like, okay, we got toys to sell. We're going to give the franchise to someone else, and then it became the Schumacher verse and this big fluffy Broadway show, and no one like that. And then we had Nolan. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm liking this because I've always been a fan of the Burton verse. I like those.
I'm a defense Schumacher. I'm gonna defend Schumacher for a second. I know it's blasphemous to do that. Schumacher was just making the 60s TV show. That's all, with a big budget.
Yeah.
Everybody knocks him for that. But that's all he was doing.
Yeah.
Like we got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Carrey doing all that shit. They were literally playing the 60s show, but just in the new 90s aesthetic. That's all. So people want to throw him under the bus for doing that. Because as far as that, he nailed that.
Yeah.
So,
I think it was just like story-wise. I remember he ripped off the cartoon with Two-Face. Like the same ending.
And Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. He was just basically
like
ripping off
the origin for Mr. Freeze didn't even exist in the comics until the TV show.
Yeah. And he took that. And I mean, I remember when Two-Face flips his coin and Batman throws all the other coins in the air and fucks him up. I'm like, that's right out of the cartoon. Fuck this.
They definitely did that. So, all right. So my last book I'm gonna do is another Batman book. I try not to load everybody up with Batman books, but oh damn, I didn't do it. Oh well, doesn't matter. We'll keep going from there. So the book I'm gonna do is Batman: The World. Did you?
Oh, I got this. Yeah.
You bought this?
It was free.
What? Was it free?
It was free. Why did you pay for it?
Hell no. No, I didn't pay for it, but it was on DC Universe. So I was like, okay. But honestly, I thought I saw like $16 somewhere. I don't know where I saw that, but maybe I'm just making that shit about.
No, Comixology was free.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah, but no, I didn't pay for it. It was on DC Universe, so I decided to download for DC Universe. I just want to briefly talk about it. Eli, did you read the whole thing through?
No, not the whole thing.
Okay, I didn't read the whole thing through, but I skimmed through it. But basically, I just want to talk about the whole premise of the book. First off, the premise of the book is basically it's just creators all around the world writing Batman stories. Yeah, he's got stories from France, from Japan. So it's a manga at the end. We got a Batman manga. China. I thought the China story pretty interesting. The France story was pretty interesting. And then your boy Brian Azzarello, he writes the first story. you
Mhm.
know, and he talks about, Batman's, greatest love. And it turns out Batman's greatest love is Gotham City. That's basically what the story is about, But I do want to review one story because I do love the artwork in it. That's that same guy that did Batman Damn, with the Bat Dick and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But still awesome. The story, not the Bat Dick, but yeah. But I do want to review one book, The Story from Paris, and The Story from Paris was called what was it called? Oh, it's just called Paris. Yeah, okay. So this book was basically like what's in Paris? The Louvre? Is that what it's called?
The Louvre, yeah.
The Louvre. Okay, so Catwoman is robbing the Louvre. She's in there, and Batman is trying to stop her from robbing the Louvre, whatever like that. And then, like I said, it's in France. The whole creative team is French. And basically the point is Batman is trying to stop her. I'm gonna just cut to the end, just get to the point of it. He's like, you need to stop this. Like, Batman, why the hell did you come all the way to Paris to stop me? He was like, I'm trying to stop you because I'm trying to stop you before the curator finds you. Like, I don't give a shit about the curator. Like, you need to, because when you find out who she is, it's gonna be a fucking problem. And then it turns out the curator shows up and she's like, yeah, you don't want me to be here because if I find you, it's gonna be a problem. And it turns out the curator of the Louvre is Wonder Woman. So why the hell are y'all here? Yeah. So Wonder Woman is there. She's like, y'all are not going to break anything in here. Otherwise, I'm going to break both of you. Batman, Catwoman, I don't care who it is. So Catwoman rushes Wonder Woman. She's like, okay. And Woman is just like, okay, yeah, this shit is crazy. So Catwoman grabs the lasso of truth, takes it from her, smoke bomb blinds Wonder Woman, shit like that, and wraps up Batman. That's the only reason Catwoman is here. She came here to rob Wonder Woman of her lasso of truth to wrap up Batman. So, and then
what? I'm like skimming through. That's not in. You probably got like the full version or something because that's not in the book that I got. I don't have that.
I knew it. I knew I saw a $16.99 somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why it was
they
free,
might give you like
a
teaser. Yeah, it might be like a teaser, something like that. So.
Yeah, that Japanese. No, the one I'm looking at, that's not Japanese. I'm looking at it. It's fucking South Korea now.
Oh,
the one that I'm seeing. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even have the manga.
That sounds racist as hell out of content. One of them. But anyway, going back to it. Okay, so the only reason Catwoman is there to steal lasso of truth because she wants to ask Batman a question. We don't hear the question. She just whispered it in his ear. And Batman's answer is yes, until my dying day. That's the answer he gives. And Catwoman just said, now, was that too hard? And that's it. And so they just visit, they just go, and one woman leaves, and they just walk around, and they have a date in Paris. And that's it. So after that's it. Other shit happens. Like I said, it's a bunch of other stories. You got stories from Spain, from Mexico. Batman goes to all these countries. Meanwhile, while you have artists from those countries telling those stories, like I said, it's a manga at the end of it. The Chinese story is pretty good when he teams with Panda Girl. She becomes Robin. That's pretty cool. But either way, that's the thing. So, yeah. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can show you Panda Girl because Panda Girl kind of got me. I like this story. But
Panda Girl.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got to say. It was a pretty awesome story. Where is Panda Girl? This book is long. I think this book is like 160 pages long.
Yeah, it's sealed because I remember looking at like the cover, like it's showing all these flags from all these countries, and I'm like, my book was like only 30 pages. Like, is that it? I'm going.
This book is 160 pages. No,
okay,
173 pages long. That's
okay. Then the one I got is just like a sampler or whatever.
Yeah, so. There we go. Panda Girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So, and then she actually knows, martial arts. So when the bad guys try to fight her, she's like, you don't know martial arts. I know martial arts. Shit like that. So, yeah. So, pretty cool story. Honestly, I love it. I'm gonna go back. I didn't read every single book that was, every single story in this book, but I'm gonna go back and read it because it was pretty awesome. Like some of the stuff was just point, and it's interesting seeing other countries take on Batman.
Yeah.
And so, you booked that. I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, I got other shit. I just didn't get a chance to read them. I mean, I wasn't sure if we were doing a story. I was actually reading like real books with no pictures in them, so I didn't know if we were doing. Yeah, I don't know if we were doing a pod this week because I wasn't sure if you were going to be ready to do one. So I kind of started. I finished up a novel that I was reading, and I was like, oh shit, okay, we're reading comic. I better read my comics then. And then I,
Right,
and then I
read
read, after reading that Fantastic Four, I'm like, oh, okay, fuck it.
I'm done. Yeah. So I guess we need to address the elephant in the room. Like I said, what happened with us last week? And honestly, we didn't know whether or not we would record this week, but we did. And honestly, I really don't know what we're going to do next week. Nothing's wrong. Like I said, we're all still good. But the thing is, I have some personal shit going on right now where they're pretty much tearing apart my apartment because of some plumbing issues, stuff like that. So I actually had to leave last week. They don't work on the weekend. So I was able to sneak in, record this podcast. I got to be gone by Monday. So yeah. So this weekend, I don't know how bad things are going to get. I might be able to record. Don't know. So yeah. So it's going to be a thing. Don't worry. I have a place to stay. I figured all that out. So I'm going to be okay. I'm going to, be out of town until they fix all this stuff out there. But at the same time, I'm going to be around other people. So I can't really record the podcast when I'm around that,
like when I went to Washington, I went out into the car and recorded.
Right. One of those, you were like in the woods and shit like that.
I was just sitting outside. Yeah, I was just sitting outside in the woods.
And we kept fucking with you. Eli, don't turn around. That guy's behind you.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So yeah, that's going on right now. Oh, and the plumbing company that's doing all the shit is Buford Plumbing Company. That's why I said the Buford thing at the beginning of it. So I thought it was pretty funny. Oh, so yeah, it all comes full circle. See, anybody that just fast forward all the way to the end, just find out what the hell's going on, they'll get it. Yeah. But like I said, we're gonna keep this thing going. If I can record, and if the apartment hasn't been completely just leveled, we will still record something, but like I said, we're gonna play it by ear. We will know something by Friday or Saturday, but everybody stay on fire. Oh, and the reason we're not on Facebook right now because I got banned from Facebook. That's why. So I'll be
dick.
Yeah, banned again. So like I said, tomorrow I'll be back on, and we'll be back to normal, back to business. The page will be good and going. And I'll let everybody know, not just Eli, but everybody know Friday or Saturday what we're gonna do for the podcast, or whether or not we record a podcast. So
yeah, there's no beef. We didn't fall out. There's no falling out.
Right. Nobody said nobody got canceled over a tweet or anything like that.
Yeah.
So all right. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
I called it bad just today. You hit me with a call to your place. Ain't been out in a while anyway. Was hoping I could catch you throwing smiles in my face. Romantic talking, you don't even have to try. You're cute enough to fuck with me tonight. Looking at the table, all I see is reading white. Baby, you living the life, but nigga, you ain't living right. Cocaine and drinking with your friends. You live in the dark, boy, I cannot pretend. I'm not faced, only here to sin. If you've been in your garden, you know that you can. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me out by your name, I'll be on the way. Like, I wanna sell what you're buying. I wanna feel on your ass in the wire. I want the jet lag from fucking and flying. Shoot a shot in your mouth while I'm riding. Oh, I mean, a sign of the times every time that I speak. A dime and a nine, it was mine every week. What a time and a climb, God was shining on me. Now I can't leave, and now I'm making hella Italy. Never want the niggas that's in my league. I wanna fuck the ones I envy. I envy. Cocaine and drinking with your friends. You live in the dark, boy, I cannot pretend. I'm not faced, only here to sin. If you've been in your garden, you know that you can. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me in the morning, I'll be on the way. Call me when you want, call me when you need. Call me out by your name, I'll be on the way.